Welcome back to the Random Horror Show. I am your horror hostess, Keisha Lacey, coming straight out of the Iron Pine Curtain, better known as East Texas, and here at the Random Horror Show, where we commentate being silly and random, going off tangents, but we go back to the main point in breakdowns, in reviews, in horror, science fiction, fantasy, cult classics, and the obscure, in movies, television shows, and literature, and sometimes we throw in a guest or two. Thank you so much for joining me, and this bonus episode of this podcast is going to be Renfield. It is thundering outside, so we're going to get a little bit of that ooky spooky ambiance in if you can hear the thunder in the background. But Renfield came out, it premiered all in theaters April 14th, stars Nicolas Cage, Nicholas Hoult, Awkafina, the lady with the really deep, gorgeous, throaty voice, that chick right there, and a whole bunch of other folks. Renfield is actually is part of the Universal OG monsters like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, Invisible Man, many that has came out around in the early 20th century, which I grew up on them myself, but this is like the revamping of the OG Universal monsters. Well, hate to say this, everybody, but Renfield was not my cup of tea. I had so many high hopes for this film, especially having a very just great star cast. The casting was great, but Renfield just literally stunk and sunk at the box office. It should have been laid to rest, just like Dracula, with a whole bunch of damn chains and crosses and garlic, surrounded by holy water, the blood of Jesus and everything else. Renfield is rated R. It has a lot of gore, lots of action, everything which you can name of. It is a horror comedy. I like horror comedies like Shaun of the Dead, Warm Bodies, which I'm going to relate to this film. So many horror comedies out there, and even though there's horror movies that don't have a lot of comedy, they do slip a good joke or two. You get a good chuckle off of it. But this one right here, I did not get any chuckles. I did not have no guffaws. I did not have no eurekas or none of that laughing like how I usually laughing like this. Oh shit. Oh no, that shit did not have me dead ass. It did not make me wheeze. It did not make me choke up or anything when I'm laughing at something very funny. I grew up on comedy movies also, but the comedy in here, it was literally a hit and miss. It was a few parts that I did laugh at it, and I'm just gonna be honest and upfront with y'all. I can't even remember something, maybe how would I put it? At least about 92% of this film. If I can't remember anything from a film, and I have literally have not had some type of a great memory of it, or there was a great scene out of it that I can just really talk about. I can't make shit up. I really can't. I can't make stuff up. But I know it is a hit and miss with the comedy. Now, pulling it out, the gore is extra fabulous. I love the gore part. It's just gross and just macabre and just ooky, and it was just I like that part. Now, there's Awkafina. She plays a police officer. She is a cop. She's her storyline, and of course Renfield's storyline. But then I'm just like this. In the storyline, it was a very shallow plot. It was the storyline is very shallow. The plot was very shallow. You just couldn't even just like, you want to just like, okay, let's get to the point. Like, what happened to Renfield? Like, let us know what's going on with Renfield. We do see what happened to Renfield throughout the whole film, but you still have like this other storyline with Awkafina's character. Her father was brutally murdered by the crime boss. Lady, she is just so pimping. I love, the one thing that did stick out is her white outfit. She did dress badass, and I was just like, I like her outfits. Just being like how Aretha Franklin said about Taylor Swift, beautiful gowns. She had a beautiful outfit, beautiful pantsuits, beautiful jewelry, lovely hair. That's basically of what this crime boss lady. She wasn't the most powerful one, but she was the most feared in New Orleans. Another good thing that it took place lots of parts in New Orleans, especially with the church in the background when they had the scene at Cafe Du Monde. I have taken a picture in front of that church, which brings back so many good memories. Going to New Orleans it was very, very cold on, New Year's Day. I did have some really great memories just seeing those scenes right there. Nicholas Hoult, who plays Renfield, with his cute little ass, he is so damn cute. Trust me, he is so cute. He's like cutie patootie. When I seen him in Warm Bodies, he really did warm me up. He seemed like he was playing his character from Warm Bodies. I feel sometimes that, like, whenever you have like a really great lot of like fire and star power, especially with Nicholas Hoult, he played in X-Men First Class, playing Hank / the Beast. Sometimes like you can get pigeonholed into those roles. It felt like I was watching, R and, Hank, within First Class and Warm Bodies. And I was just like, is he doing that, or they just written that for him? But Renfield is a very interesting character because he is the master slave. He eats bugs to charge up, like he's like Super Mario. If y'all have watched Super Mario Brothers, that is the baddest movie on the fucking planet by now. It is so good. I mean, it's a 10 out of 10. I was very, very just shocked of how the graphics are, how the animation, the voices, everything to it. I'm just going to say it like this. I know 2023 is the year of horror, and like I said, and a lot of us have been saying this is the year of horror, but god damn, Super Mario Brothers really like fucking knocked it out of the park. And I'm just going to say, I will put this in the fantasy section of like the random horror show. You got King Koopa, you got Bowser and everything. Did I say King Koopa? I must be thinking of something else. But like, King Koopa was like, part of Super Mario Bros. But you know what I'm saying. But Bowser, he was so funny in this film. Voiced by Jack Black. Peaches. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be talking about Renfield, and I'm sitting there going, peaches up in this bitch. But back to what I was saying. Nicholas Hoult, he does have that cutie star power, but I was just feeling like Warm Bodies. I'm feeling, Hank from First and Next Class, Beast. I mean, he did do those Beast moves. And trust me, like, I like Nicholas Hoult when he become kind of like that hero type of thing right there. And heroes are not my fucking thing. I like villains more. But he actually plays more of like a villain role, not really too villainous, but like he is associated with Dracula. Now, Dracula and Renfield, with what they did with this script, is just to make it as like this codependency where Dracula is a narcissist. I'm just like, I can understand that relationship. I was married to a narcissist once upon a time, my damn self. And I could see like a lot of the dynamics with like how Dracula and Renfield's relationship throughout the centuries. It does tell the backstory of Renfield, of why he became Dracula's assistant. Through like years and decades of him and the master, they actually ran pretty much, they was almost broke. So they was some broke ass dusties. That's the reason why they moved from their place in Europe all the way to America in New Orleans, because they ass was getting broke. Okay, I was like, Dracula being almost broke? That's a little weird right there. But also, you also see like the crime people that are teaming up with Dracula, especially the crime boss's son. He is a hothead. He's relentless. He's very stupid. He has this codependency on his mother. Yes, they are a mother and son, crime boss team called the Lobos. But you can see, like, within their relationship, it's all kind of fucked up and ooky as well, just like Dracula and Renfield's. Now, you have Awkafina and her sister, which they kind of, like, drifted apart after their father died. Awkafina's character is a hot-headed cop, but she loves her job. She followed in her father's footsteps. Hooray for her. But she knows that the whole damn police department is corrupt and owned by the Lobos. So she's pretty much like just out on her own as the lone wolf, as trying to bring back justice and right within the department, and also fighting crime, also avenging her father's death. So this takes just pretty much everywhere, it does go all over the place. Within like her story and also Renfield's story, there was like this investigation because there was a lot of things that was going on. Renfield, once upon a time, he was just like, I'm really into this, but now I have joined a support group of people who have codependent relationships with a narcissist, or doesn't matter, or what toxic or dysfunctional relationships that they had with their spouses, their exes, or whatever. He feels very welcome. He wants that. He's actually craving that attention of like some type of human interaction within this group, and he feels that in this support group that he actually definitely has that. A lot of bullshit happens, which trails him back to as being one of the murders of a different scene that have happened in the beginning of the movie, which traces her, Awkafina's character, with the Lobos and also to him. Now he has like have this codependency where he is literally spacing himself apart with Dracula. Dracula does not know what is actually going on. Dracula is pissed off. Dracula says, fuck it, I'm discarding you. I don't need you no more because you left me high and dry. It's a lot of that in there. The ending, the last act of it was not too bad. I pretty much kind of cracked up laughing a little bit, of how they did Nicolas Cage's character Dracula, but it was okay. It's a mid, but it wasn't like, it's not totally dead in the water, buried alive and everything else like it should be, but I feel that the writing should have been very much I have a very high standard, and I can actually tell within Nicolas Cage's characters playing as Dracula. Nicolas Cage has been extra, extra, extra. I love Nicolas Cage, how extra as fuck as he is. He been extra like that ever since I watched Moonstruck with him and Cher and Danny Aiello. It was a 1988 romantic comedy. He was so damn extra up in this movie that I literally just fell in love with Nicolas Cage because how extra as hell he was within his character. And that's what made me notice at 10 years old, and which, by the way, Moonstruck is my only, let me stress it out, only romantic comedy that I really love. I'm not a fan of rom-coms, but Moonstruck has like really hit my heart at 10 years old. Very sentimental, has so much, layers to it. The, of course, the cast of Moonstruck, Cher, Nicolas Cage, Danny Aiello, Olympia Dukakis. Oh my gosh, you can just name it all. You talk about the hard hitters back in the day right there. So that is my only rom-com romantic movie that if you want to pull my heartstrings, just pull out Moonstruck and say, hey, let's watch this. I'll be like, I'm in love. But anyways, enough of that right there. But I noticed that Nicolas Cage, he was extra as Dracula, but he was not extra. And I was like very disappointed because this man can pull frogs out of his ass and make them into like prince and princesses and shit. I mean, this dude can literally say like toilet paper got shit on it is just nothing but, a Dove chocolate piece on a gold napkin or something. You know what I'm saying? That's just how extra he is. In a way, I could tell, like, I mean, he did a really great job, but he just was not extra. And I know he could pull some of that extra. I know he wasn't saying shit and everything because he probably thought, like, okay, this script is kind of funky, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this because I'm going to be playing Dracula. And I like him as Dracula, but he did not bring that certain extra caging it up energy as Dracula, because this was a horror comedy. It is, this is something different. And I like stuff, movies where it's horror genre, it doesn't matter, science fiction, that actually could blend in different genres within itself. But as I said, the horror part, it was really, with the gore, the ookiness, the macabre, it's very, very great because it holds very well within that world. But it was the comedy of it, it just fell pretty flat. I mean, there's Awkafina in there, and to me, like, Awkafina, she actually pulled a lot of, like, of herself in this film, because really, she actually overshadowed like the two Nicholses in this movie. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm not a fan of Awkafina. I don't like Awkafina as like an actress or whatever, but Awkafina actually brought that shit on. And I was like, wait a minute, you telling me Awkafina just like overshadowed both of these Nicholses? Like, whoa, that really messed me up right there, because Awkafina brought that shit on, and this was her first horror film that she's did, and guess what? She actually did a fabulous job. Though I'm not a fan of her as an actress or anything, but she actually did a fabulous job. Do you see? You see how I did that shit right there? It don't even matter if I don't like him as an actress or whatever like that. But that right there shows me a lot of talent and work that she really put into this film. So tell me what you think about Renfield. Did you watch it? Did you see it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? And what did you think about Awkafina's brilliant performance as her first time being in a horror movie? Did you feel that Nicolas Cage was the right Dracula for this film? and also Nicholas Hoult. Did you feel that he was just being R from Warm Bodies and everything else? But overall of like the film, it is a C minus for me. Give or take. The comedy was a hit and miss. The story was very flat. It started off as, very exciting. Throughout, it started to get very, very flat. The action was really, really great and everything. Of what I can recall from it, unlike what they did with the Invisible Man with Homegirl with the Margaret Atwood, Handmaid's Tale chick and everything else like that. Now that shit was like really cold blooded as a motherfucker right there. But what are your thoughts about Renfield? And I just want to hear that. And if you want to drop me a line and let me know what you think about Renfield, you can follow me on my socials at the Random Horror Show at Instagram, or the Random Horror Show on Facebook. Also, you can drop me a line at the Random Horror Show at gmail.com. And also, y'all better gear up and get ready, because this week Evil Dead Rises is coming up. Did I say rises? I sure did say rises. Like it's biscuits or something, you know what I'm saying? Rises. Because this is going to be one film that I had very highly anticipation for since 2021, since they mentioned that they are going to be filming the movie, blah, and how the story is going to be different from, we be in the cabin in the woods and all that crazy mess right there with Ash and all his good old deadites and stuff. We're going to be in an LA high-rise where the scene opens up as a single mom with 2 kids, raising them in a Los Angeles high-rise apartment, and her sister comes to visit, and we're going to see all what is going to be taking place right there. I have heard so many good things about Evil Dead Rise. The director is different. I have lots of great hopes for this film, and also hopefully, fingers crossed, that I can get my Evil Dead 2 shirt, which I hopefully will come on Thursday, so I can watch it and I can sport out my Evil Dead shirt. But the thing with this Evil Dead shirt is that it has my birthday, when Evil Dead 2 premiered on March 13th, 1987. I was 9 years old. That is very, very special. And of course, Evil Dead 2 just blew up and became a cult classic favorite among all horror fanatics, horror enthusiasts, and deadites. You name it. I raised my kids on Evil Dead also. But that was the film that I really just starting to get to know who Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell is when I was in high school. Back in 94 is when I watched Evil Dead 2. That movie has really put a seal of approval on me as an official horror enthusiast. Is when watching Evil Dead 2, so many good memories of just watching that film. I have it, and also I need to catch up on my Evil Dead. A lot of that Army of Darkness, I believe I seen that in the theater and stuff when no, I take that back. I did not see Army of Darkness. But I did was anticipation of waiting on Army of Darkness when it reached out. I think it was around 2020, something like that, when I finally got the copy of a physical copy of Army of Darkness. Loved it and everything. More action comedy. but I still love it and everything. That's the reason why I'm tying this in, because like, though Renfield is a horror comedy, the same way with Army of Darkness and Part of Evil Dead, is that they did have some comedy with it. And if you recognize the comedy in Evil Dead, it's from the Three Stooges, because Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Ted Raimi were all big, huge fans of the Three Stooges. So no further ado, I'm about to dip off. I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm very excited about Evil Dead Rise coming out, and I feel this is a perfect horror date for anybody. Fingers crossed. I have one. If that one backs out, then I have a spare and everything, y'all. I do have a spare, and I just want to experience the whole movie in the theaters. Like I said, 2023 is the year of horror, and this one right here, I feel that I do deserve a day to watch this film, because it's just bringing people into the theater, especially horror fanatics, enthusiasts, fans, just to enjoy a horror movie in theaters. Usually I go alone, after work or whatever like that, but this one right here, I wanted to be very special for myself. And of course, like I said, fingers crossed that I have this date with watching Evil Dead Rise, because I want to get scared, I want to jump, I want to grab onto somebody and stuff instead of my chair, on my purse and everything, or sink in my seat and go, oh my gosh, I really want that experience, and I'm looking forward to it. So I bid y'all adieu, and thank you for joining me with the Random Horror Show as I just reviewed Renfield. And like I said, tell me if you hate it or like it or love it, or it made you fall out in stitches, or you just want to go and just find dead bugs or live bugs and everything and just want to chew them, just get some super duper powers like Beast and everything, or whatever, hooray for mutants. Anyways, I'm Keisha Lacey, and thank you so much. This is the Random Horror Show.